To continue on with our goals for our horses or life in general, um, I was listening to a podcast. I like to listen to other podcasts. I like to learn. And one of the podcasts I found a couple months ago was by Phil Haugen. He's based out of, I believe, Weatherford, Oklahoma. And I find his information really refreshing and really educational. I listen to him while I'm cleaning, washing dishes, driving back and forth to work, etc. And and I started his podcast from the very beginning. So the first one, I listened to him on Spotify. It's free, doesn't cost anything. But one of the things is that he just was talking about in one of the podcasts was a shoot for progress, not perfection. If you can shoot for 1% better each day, doesn't matter what it is in life, you're gonna get somewhere. And that really hit home. That really, I think so many people with their horses, they look for that perfection, or, we think to ourselves, I want to go to this show, but I'm not ready, or my horse isn't ready, or whatever the case may be. And that's true. That really is true. Um, but if you don't try, if you don't go to that show, how do you know? If you don't go to a little local show, or if you don't go to a smaller show, or whatever the case may be, how do you know? Realistically, how do you know? A couple months ago, I took one of my mares that I ended up getting back, and when I rode her for the first time, I was a little disappointed. She didn't know near what she should have at her age, and I basically started her completely over from the ground. Granted, she didn't do anything stupid when I saddled her, but she didn't stand still when I got on. She didn't know how to steer, barely knew how to move off my leg, and so I was like, oh my gosh. And I had already said I was going to a show. So I worked. I worked with her 2 to 3 days a week, maybe 4, as time allowed, for maybe 6 weeks. I don't really remember before the show. We weren't ready at all. Not even close. But I still went. Was it a mess? Yeah. There were times where I wanted to cry. I thought about, let's just load up. Let's go home. She was gate sour. She was buddy sour. I sat there waiting for my turn for my trail class, watching the girl ahead of me. I had my pattern memorized, and I was just shaking my head because my horse was not going to do well. And another friend of mine walked up and she goes, why are you looking like that? I said, because this sucks. She's not ready. And I told her the story, and she said, well, you have 2 options. You can go home. You can load your horse back up in the trailer and go home. She's like, but you already paid your entry fees. You're already here. So what if you bomb it? Go out and use it as a practice and a learning opportunity. I really thought about that. And because I thought about it, I went and did it. And I took 3rd. It's not horrible. And then my next class that I had, we took 2nd. On a horse that wasn't ready. And I'm not talking like, just a couple competitors. Like, Yeah, we bombed our first class. Bombed it. Didn't even place. That's fine. But then the next class, I did a little better. And my last class, I took second. I beat people who had been working for that show all year. So I encourage you, like I said before, even if you only have 5 minutes a day, at the end of the week, if you did it 5 times a week, that's 25 minutes that you spent with your horse doing something, progressing on something. If you do it every day for part of your life, whatever it may be, say, I want to be a better mom, or I want to be a better wife, better daughter, better student, whatever. Just a little bit at a time. Don't go for perfection. That's too much stress. But just progress. So keep that in the back of your mind. Have a great day.